Welcome to Mindful Moments. Nourish your mind on the go. This video uses AI narration to present our original book analysis. Today we're diving deep into Cheryl Strayed's memoir, Wild. It's this incredible story about a woman who decides to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. After going through some really intense grief and personal turmoil, we're talking 1,100 miles, and she just sets off with absolutely no hiking experience.
It's such a powerful story of resilience and self-discovery, set against the backdrop of the Pacific Crest Trail.
Yeah. What do you think is the most compelling thing about Cheryl's decision to embark on this huge journey?
Well, I think it's the sheer audacity of it. She's dealing with the recent loss of her mother, a failed marriage, and a past full of really difficult choices. And she decides to respond by taking on one of the most physically and mentally demanding trails in the world.
It's like she's choosing to face her internal struggles head on by throwing herself into the external challenges of the wilderness.
Exactly. And the book doesn't shy away from the real rawness of her experience. We meet Cheryl at the trailhead, and she's completely overwhelmed by this ridiculously oversized backpack. They call it Monster. It really says a lot about how unprepared she was for the journey ahead.
Right, and it's both funny and inspiring how she just keeps going despite all these initial struggles. She loses her boots on the very first day, like they literally fall off the side of a mountain, and then she runs out of Band-Aids, she battles with her water purifier, and she just encounters all these mishaps that would have made most people give up.
But she keeps pushing forward. In those early struggles is where we really see her determination and resilience start to emerge.
And it's not just those external challenges she's facing. The book really digs into the emotional baggage she's carrying, the grief over her mother's death, the guilt from past choices, and the pain of a broken marriage.
Yeah, the PCT becomes so much more than just a physical challenge for her. It's a journey of self-discovery and healing. She carries her mother's ashes with her along the trail, scattering them as she goes. It's her way of processing her grief in the middle of this vast natural landscape.
There's that really touching scene where she talks about putting socks on her mother in the hospital. It was a simple act made so difficult by her mother's illness. And it just really emphasizes how much Cheryl loved her mom and the vulnerability of that time.
That love really fuels her journey. It becomes the foundation for her strength. And it gives her the courage to face her past.
One of the things that stood out to me was the kindness of the strangers she meets along the way. The trail angels who offer food, shelter, and encouragement to hikers. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the role these encounters play in Cheryl's journey?
Oh, they're amazing. They show the incredible compassion and generosity that people are capable of, especially in such a remote and challenging environment. The trail community really becomes this lifeline for Cheryl. They offer support, advice, and a sense of belonging that she desperately needs.
Like Ed, the experienced hiker who ends up being a temporary companion and mentor. He teaches her all these practical skills and offers words of wisdom.
Right, and then there's Greg the accountant, meticulous Greg, who's determined to through-hike the whole trail.
Their different personalities and perspectives really give Cheryl valuable insights. And it shows just how many different kinds of people are drawn to the PCT. And then there's Lou and Spider, who share their own story of heartbreaking loss with Cheryl. Lou's honesty about the death of her son and her statement, "It took the Lou out of Lou, and I ain't getting it back." It's a stark reminder of how deeply grief can change someone.
Those encounters, even though they're brief, give Cheryl moments of comfort, humor, and reflection. In the middle of all her internal struggles, they remind her that she's not alone in her pain, and that connection can be found in the most unexpected places.
It's amazing how these quick interactions really push Cheryl to grow. She starts to question her past choices, her motivations, and even her own identity.
It's like she's searching for a way to redefine herself, to break free from all the labels and expectations that have been holding her back. Like when she decides to change her last name to Strayed.
Right, it's such a powerful statement. It signifies letting go of the past and embracing the unknown.
The trail becomes this testing ground for her new identity, a space where she can confront her fears and discover how strong she truly is. And what's really compelling is how open Cheryl is about her vulnerabilities. She shares her struggles with addiction, infidelity, and self-destructive behavior.
Yeah, she doesn't try to hide those messy parts of her life. It's what makes her story so relatable and powerful.
Absolutely, by owning her mistakes, she starts to understand the patterns that led her down the wrong path, and she tries to forge a new one. The PCT becomes this incredible metaphor for her journey of self-discovery and transformation.
There's this one part where she talks about encountering a bear. She's terrified thinking it's a brown bear. But later she finds out it was probably just a black bear with a cinnamon-colored coat. But in that moment of fear, She's forced to confront her own vulnerability and her own mortality.
It shows the real danger of the wilderness and
Well,
how it can magnify our fears and insecurities. It's a reminder that Cheryl isn't just fighting the elements, but also her own inner demons.
the book really highlights her incredible resilience, facing extreme heat, snow-covered trails, encounters with wildlife, and always carrying that massive backpack. It's amazing to see her go from a novice hiker to someone who can handle these tough situations with such composure.
She learns to rely on herself. She becomes resourceful. She learns to trust her instincts and stand up for herself. It's a testament to the incredible adaptability of the human spirit.
The book is full of these moments of deep introspection, where Cheryl reflects on her relationship with her mother, her failed marriage, and her own sense of self. Nature becomes like a mirror, reflecting the beauty and the harsh realities of life.
There's that beautiful passage where she describes scattering her mother's ashes. She feels her mother's presence in the wind and the trees. It's this powerful image of loss and connection, the enduring power of love in the vastness of the wilderness.
And that feeling of connection extends to the people she meets along the trail, even in those fleeting moments.
It's almost like the trail is bringing these people together, orchestrating these chance encounters, creating these brief moments of shared humanity.
These small meetings give Cheryl a sense of community and purpose, reminding her that she's not alone in her journey. One of the most striking parts for me was when Cheryl reaches Crater Lake National Park. She calls it a sacred site, acknowledging the Klamath tribe's deep reverence for the lake.
It really emphasizes the spiritual dimension of nature, its power to inspire awe and wonder. And that sense of wonder is something Cheryl rediscovers throughout her journey. The PCT becomes more than just a trail. It's a path to reconnecting with herself, with nature, and with something bigger than herself.
The book ends with Cheryl reaching the Bridge of the Gods, marking the end of her journey on the PCT. And she arrives at the Bridge of the Gods completely transformed, physically and emotionally stronger, with a newfound sense of self-awareness and resilience.
It's a powerful testament to the transformative power of nature and how important it is to push ourselves beyond what we think we're capable of. It's not just about reaching the destination, it's about everything you experience along the way, the challenges you overcome, the lessons you learn, and the unexpected beauty you find.
Wild is so much more than just a hiking memoir. It's a story that anyone who's experienced loss, heartbreak, or a longing for personal transformation can relate to.
I completely agree. Cheryl's journey really shows us that even when we feel lost and broken, we still have the strength to keep going and find our way back to ourselves.
What would you say is the most important message you want our listeners to take away from Cheryl's story?
I think it's that even when faced with immense pain and hardship, there's always hope for healing and growth. Cheryl's journey on the Pacific Crest Trail is a powerful metaphor for the journeys we all take in life. It reminds us that we're capable of incredible resilience, and that by facing our challenges head-on, we can ultimately discover a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
For listeners who are intrigued by Cheryl's story and want to learn more, what would you recommend?
I highly recommend reading Wild. It's such a beautifully written and moving memoir, and it will stay with you long after you finish reading it. You can find a link to purchase the book in the description below.
And for more insightful book analyses and deep dives like this one, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We love helping you nourish your mind on the go, and we look forward to exploring more fascinating stories with you. Until next time.